Next on Worcester News tonight, a coalition is speaking out, challenging the leadership of the Worcester Public Schools. They say they are failing students of color. School leaders say they're working on the issue. Plus, a confirmed case of the Mumps at a Worcester college. The school says they are working with city health officials. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A breezy day in the city today, making it feel much cooler than it really is. And it's no April Fool's Day joke. Snow is in the forecast for later this week. Here's meteorologist Tim Kelly with a first look at our forecast.
We're watching a couple of things out there. It's cold outside, it's mostly dry, but there's a front, the one that went through us yesterday with the rain and the warmth, well, the warmth and then the rain, that's stalled in Florida. There's going to be a serious storm forming there. And then you have these other energy centers that are going to complicate things after that. So right now and tomorrow, probably the easiest part of the week, at least to make a weather forecast for. It's cold outside, it's dry outside tonight, and that's going to allow the temperature to get down to the 20s. So we wake up in the morning, temperature's about 25, 26 degrees. You move to the north, a little colder, to the south, not quite as cold. The wind is going to tend to let up. It's been gusty, but tomorrow's probably one of the least windy days of the week. And the temperature by noontime is going to be about 40, 45 degrees, lower elevations. Sun is out, plenty of sunshine. That storm will be gathering off to our south. A few clouds start to show up here during the afternoon and during the evening, but it's going to stay dry until about 3 a.m. tomorrow night. And it's going to be rain and snow. We have a snowfall estimate forecast in a 10-day in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Tim. A local group is calling out the administration of the Worcester Public Schools, say they are not doing enough to help Latino students and students of color. But Superintendent Maureen Benenda says she's been working hard to help address issues the students are facing. Our Chandler Walsh joins us now with more. Chandler.
Olivia, behind the doors of the Worcester Public Schools Administration Building, Superintendent Benenda says disparities between Latino students and students of color and white students is unacceptable, and she's working diligently to reduce them. Meanwhile, a coalition for education equity says student data they've been collecting is concerning. A community group says the Worcester Public Schools aren't doing enough for Latino students and students of color who combined make up more than 60% of the district. The Worcester Coalition of Education Equity is calling on the school committee to not renew Superintendent Maureen Benenda's contract. They also want to remove School Safety Director Rob Pizzella.
It is not sound to consider extending the contract, and that the practices around disciplinary action should not be relegated to an individual that's not an educator and that clearly has misused his authority.
The coalition says according to data from the state, there's a 10% dropout rate for English language learners, and Latinos and students of color are suspended at a rate more than double of white students.
An issue that we all need to take an interest in, because these kids are in our schools now, but they're the future of our economy, of our city.
Superintendent Benenda says she has never met with the coalition. She says she's aware there's a gap between school suspensions of white students and Latino students, and meets with many groups to address it.
Looking to really find a really good recommended group to come in and work with our principals and our assistant principals, and then have them train our teachers on whether or not there are some biases that we don't know.
The coalition says the district needs to hire a diversity officer, a more diverse staff, and reevaluate how disciplinary actions are determined. Benenda says funding is a big challenge, but the district will use resources from the city.
We would like to look at practices for hiring and retaining teachers of color. We'd like to be able to consult with the city's chief diversity officer.
The coalition is looking for people to attend Thursday's school committee meeting in support. Benenda says overall, in and out of house suspensions are down by 30 to 40% since last year, and long-term suspensions are down by 18%. Live in Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A Worcester auto body shop owner is charged in connection to an extensive motor vehicle fraud scheme. He's accused of more than $170,000 in theft. Attorney General Maura Healey's office says Adam Haddad, the owner of Accurate Collision on Millbury Street, further damaged vehicles he was going to repair. Surveillance video from one of his businesses allegedly showed him using mallets and sledgehammers to damage the vehicles of 5 customers. Haddad also owns a business in Everett and will be arraigned in Worcester and Middlesex Superior Courts at a later date. An old Grafton mill could soon be getting new life. The mill on Depot Street was deemed dangerous due to fire and safety codes in 2016. The manager of the mill is seeking a special permit from the town's planning board to turn it into a marijuana growing facility. They say they could produce more than 50,000 pounds of marijuana a year. A public hearing will provide the public with a detailed overview of the project. A confirmed case of the mumps at a Worcester college. The contagious but treatable infection has area health leaders investigating. It may also lead to a discussion about the importance of vaccinations. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us now with details of the case. Rosalind.
Olivia, an email was sent out alerting the college community. The Department of Public Health says this is the only confirmed case in the city. An email sent by Assumption College last week alerts the college community a student has a confirmed case of the mumps.
I was a little bit overwhelmed just because I knew the mumps were serious.
I was kind of concerned for my own health.
The college says the student went to health services on March 28th complaining of a swollen gland. The school contacted the Massachusetts Department of Public Health and the test came back positive.
Our public health nurses are trying to do some of the forensics with the state epidemiologists to see exactly how that happened.
Dr. Michael Hirsch is the medical director of Worcester's Division of Public Health. He says it's the only confirmed case in the city. The mumps are a viral disease affecting children and people who aren't vaccinated. A person can be contagious 2 days before symptoms start and 2 days after they begin to feel better.
It is amazingly contagious. If you're standing in a room with someone with active mumps and you're not vaccinated, you have a 100% chance of getting the mumps. It's spread by respiratory droplets.
In the email, the school says they worked with the student to see who they came in contact with, including roommates, close friends, and one staff member. The school says the student will be kept in isolation until April 2nd. Students say they are happy with the way Assumption is handling the situation.
It seemed like the school was kind of taking the right precautions and kind of calming everything down and making sure that everyone was safe.
I feel like everybody heard about it.
Dr. Hirsch says they will be looking into this case more and will be doing public service lectures about the importance of vaccinations.
One would hope that most of the individuals in the campus are vaccinated. We hopefully will get the word out also through other methods around the city that, you know, now we've seen one and we don't want to see another if we can avoid it for sure.
Assumption says although students are required to get 2 doses of the vaccine, a student may be able to waive it with proof of medical or religious reasons, and they say they're looking into that. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The town of Shrewsbury has nearly doubled in the last 30 years, and the town's fire chief says his department needs to grow with the community. The chief says Shrewsbury has one of the lowest staffing levels per capita in the state. The department has 38 full-time firefighters, which is the same number of firefighters in 1987. Back then, they responded to close to 800 calls a year. Now they respond to more than 4,000.
It's an inherently dangerous job, but basically you're putting the firefighters at risk. You're putting residents at risk. If you pull up to a house and there's people that, you know, need assistance getting out of the house and you only have 2 people, it's difficult.
And the chief says they plan to apply for more grant money to get an additional 8 firefighters. A new cafe in Worcester is getting a lot of attention. It's based on a popular 90s TV show, and it opened on April Fool's Day. The owner says it didn't even dawn on her people may think it's a joke. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us now with more behind the cafe's name. Brittany.
Olivia, it's one of the most popular TV shows of all time. And now a Friends-themed cafe is open in the city. Inside, customers can see decor, Friends-themed specials, and even watch the show. the one where a Friends-themed cafe opens in Worcester, and it's no joke.
My phone has been ringing off the hook. Are you really open today? It never dawned on me that it was April 1st. People would think this was a joke. No joke.
The June Street Cafe features walls full of references from the popular sitcom, along with 2 TVs playing Friends. Owner Melinda Taylor says her inspiration is her daughter, who is obsessed with the show.
I love it. Joey and Monica, with Joe, Ross, Phoebe, and Joey.
Her favorite TV show is Friends, so we played with that logo a little bit. Instead of using the dots, we used utensils, different color utensils. And then my other daughter put it on Facebook and it went viral.
The post was shared more than 7,000 times, something Taylor never expected.
I saw the feedback, I was flabbergasted. They're really into it.
Brooke Kirkwood stopped in for breakfast and says she was blown away by the atmosphere.
I love that you can watch Friends while you're sitting here eating, and it just all comes together really nicely. From watching the show, you can see how much fun everybody has when they're together, so it's a great way to bring everybody together.
The restaurant was full Monday for their grand opening. They say customers may come in as strangers but leave as friends.
For Monday, we had a great outcome.
Taylor says depending on demand, they may extend their hours past 2 p.m. so they are there for you. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
And police departments across central Massachusetts also having some fun for April Fool's Day. The Sterling Police Department sharing this picture on Facebook of what appears to be Bigfoot. The department says they've had reports of suspicious activity and surveillance cameras captured the image. WPI also getting in on the fun, saying they are replacing their goat mascot with what else but a robot. But when you click on the link saying construction is underway, it brings you to this page saying April Fools.